It's official, everyone. Karim Benzema will be leaving Real Madrid. In other talks, is it time for Tottenham to move on from Harry Kane and Heung-min Son? That and much more on today's episode of Coast to Coast Podcast. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Podcast. Today, we are welcomed by the one and only C-Rod, Chase Rodriguez, repping the AFC Wimbledon, Richmond jersey.
Richmond.
How are we doing today?
Doing good. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing just fine. Watching Miami Hurricanes play some baseball right now, but might be down there tonight to see us maybe lose to Texas again. But this isn't about baseball today. We're talking about some European soccer, and there was some talk earlier this week about one specific guy, a Ballon d'Or winner. Actually, two Ballon d'Or winners have actually left their club in this recent week, but the main one is Karim Benzema, of Real Madrid, will be leaving Real Madrid after his long stint there. He's been there for a long time, played at the likes of Ronaldo, Bale, and then kind of got the main man job when Ronaldo left. It appears on his way out. I don't know if they've confirmed whether or not where he's be going. I believe a lot of indications are that he'll be going to Saudi Arabia to play in the league alongside Ronaldo, potentially some other marquee names. But let's just jump straight into it. What are your immediate thoughts with this situation? Because, there's going to need some replacements done out there in Madrid.
Yeah, my immediate thoughts go to Real Madrid because who's going to be their striker? Benzema has been their marquee striker for over a decade now, and played the position so well. They've always had reliability there. He's never been injured, so they've never had to worry about a striker, really. And now they're kind of left in the dust thinking, crap, we need to buy a striker immediately who can contribute immediately. So now, all these other teams with, strikers for sale, their prices just went all the way up because Real Madrid is desperate to try and keep their form. And but congrats to Benzema, man. Hell of a career at Madrid,
Yeah.
He deserves to go wherever he wants, man.
And hundreds of millions, if that's what it is. But I think that, so speaking on that note, there's a lot of names to throw out there. I think immediately you kind of need to shut down some names, the Harry Kanes of the world and the Victor Osimhen's. I think what people don't realize is that, if word is true, Jude Bellingham will be making his move from Dortmund there this summer. I'd expect in the range of, north of 100+ million, which is going to be kind of scarce, if they want to go out there and, get some other, another marquee signing alongside, especially when you have departures such as Benzema, Asensio, all leaving on free transfers to wherever their destinations may be. So I'm going to throw some names out at you and I just want to know what your opinion and thoughts are on this. So obviously, I think Kylian Mbappe is a name people would love to see, but I think this is a summer way too, too close. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, after last summer, we did have that whole saga with, him hinting he was going to Real Madrid and then eventually ending up staying because he got this absurd contract to where he has say in what the club does with the higher ups and the managers. So yeah, I think he stays 1 or 2 more years there. He's eventually going to end up at Real Madrid. I think it's kind of just set in stone that way. He's always wanted to play for them. So yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more summers, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. His team looks like they're going to shambles. The three-headed monster in the attack looks like it'll be kind of dismantled this summer with Messi already on its way out. And it seems like, from what we've been seeing, Neymar is not welcome there at the Parc des Princes anymore. So we'll move on. Harry Kane, the guy that everyone wants to talk about. We'll talk about Tottenham later in this podcast. But, do you think that that's too unrealistic given the circumstances of the summer, or what are your thoughts?
No, I actually really like that transfer. One, because Kane and Benzema are both very similar players in terms of they drop deep into the midfield, help out the midfield, play off of it. They're not the type of striker who's on the back line trying to get in behind you know, kind of a vulture up top.
Yeah.
They're always moving. They're never in the same position. Center backs don't really mark them, like come up and mark them because they're in the midfield. So I actually really like that transfer, and I'd love to see what Kane could do in that Madrid squad with, Vinny. You got Rodrigo around him, and then obviously Modric, Cruz, that midfield. But I feel like that would be really, really good transfer for both parties there.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is finding a guy that can, fill that role. The last thing they need to do is, make a whole like system change, especially the
Mm-hmm.
way Benzema's been, their success, you don't want to go away from that pattern. And especially when you have, such a talented, not saying Rodrigo's not talented, but when you have a guy like Vinicius Jr. who can put up 20
Mm-hmm.
plus 20, seasons, you want to be able to have situations where he's not limited by,
Yeah.
a dominant nine in the formation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think Lautaro Martinez is a guy that could definitely be talked about here. I mean, they'll be playing in a Champions League final in the coming days. I believe is it next weekend at the time of the recording?
Yeah, next weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So next weekend, I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute. But Lautaro Martinez, I mean, the Argentine striker, unfortunately, did not, get the glory and fame from the World Cup as, Julian Alvarez kind of took over there. But still a solid, striker out there for Inter. I mean, what are your thoughts with him potentially going to Real?
Yeah, he's a bit of a weird striker because you see in Argentina when he plays for Argentina, he doesn't do that well in the one striker setup. But at Inter, he does so well with the two striker setup, where he can play off the likes of Dzeko, Lukaku, Joaquin Correa, whoever's up top, he can play off of them. And so I don't. To me, it's a little weird. Like,
Yeah.
but when you said Julian Alvarez, I was like, oh, that. I feel like if he like
Ooh.
maybe he doesn't want to live in the shadow of Holland. Maybe he wants to take that step up. I don't know if Real Madrid is willing to. Maybe they get
Like Pep's gonna ask a hefty price for him.
yeah.
It's interesting though because it's kind of a battle of like he's so great every time he's on the pitch for City, but like they're never gonna go. They have too much talent to ever go to a two striker formation, or like is he ever gonna like play at a winger position? But they have so much talent there. It's kind of stuck in a bad great situation for him, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that could be a definitely name to look out for. But who knows? You never know with
Yeah.
City. I think one of the best options you can do if you want to spend the least amount of money is going Bobby Firmino. He's on his way out of Liverpool, a guy that has had a lot of success playing in that Benzema role with around the likes of Salah at Liverpool. What are your thoughts on, getting the Brazilian center forward, have that linking up out there with his other Brazilian mates out there in Real Madrid as a, bringing in as a free transfer and not have to spend that much money?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's free. It's free. You can't. There's no, loss on it. It's a free transfer. I like it. It's just I don't know if he's a marquee type striker because if you look at this Madrid squad, we did in our previous podcast, but if you look at this Real Madrid squad, they're old, they're aging, and I don't know if you want to bring in a middleman striker where he's not world class, but he's also not young enough to where he can become world class. You know what I mean? So he's kind of in this middle gray area, and I don't know if Madrid wants to take that stab. Maybe they get him in and another younger striker to where Bobby Firmino can teach him or whatnot. But yeah, I like that. It's just I feel like they need to get him and another striker.
Yeah, I think he served more as a middleman, especially if they're thinking the facts of let's roll Bobby Firmino for a year. Let's maybe look internally. I know Brahim Diaz is over at Milan. Maybe they bring him back, a center attacking mid to kind of play in that center forward role. And then they say, hey, we'll look at it. We'll evaluate it, what Bobby Firmino is. And then we go and attack, Kylian in the next off transfer window in the summer. I feel like that could definitely be a play. But like you said, is it the kind of guy that, Real Madrid, wants in their team, especially with, how the league went this year with, Barca running away with it. They do not want Barca to be winning leagues out there for La Liga. So they're definitely going to be going out there to try and improve this team from here on out. So that's kind of it with the Benzema talk. So we hinted on this earlier, talking about Harry Kane. Tottenham did not do well this year. Their lowest finish in the table since 08-09. They currently do not have a manager, in place at Tottenham. Apparently, there's rumors that the Celtic manager might be, in talks to move over to Tottenham. But regardless, it seems like Tottenham's been kind of trending downwards as of lately. Is it time for the Spurs to move on from the likes of Kane, Son, and look to retool the roster in more of a youth movement? I'd love to hear your thoughts with this.
Yes, blow it up, blow it up. It's time. You've had your time. Like for now, probably I don't know. When was the last time they were like in a real title race? I guess it was 15-16 when they were when Leicester won the league. But even then, they got third in a 2-horse race. It was between them and Leicester. They got third somehow in a two-horse race. But yeah, you've had your time. You got a lot of success out of it, but it didn't come with anything substantial with trophies or whatnot. So at this point, you have to blow it up, because what's going to happen is the new manager is going to come in and want to retool everything, around the squad. It's not a mid-season manager where they're just trying to fix the gaps, fix the holes or whatever. No, he's going to want to come in, put his new philosophy in, put his new ideas. And I don't know if the likes of Kane's Son, the older guys, are willing to do that again, are willing to change maybe their whole style or whatnot. So yeah, I would just plus get Daniel Levy out of Tottenham, man. He's ruining that club. Get him out. Like, find someone new, man. Just it starts from the higher ups, and then it trickles down all the way to the team. If you don't have good structure in place up top, you won't win anything down here. Like, just get as much money as you can from whoever's in the team. Bring in a bunch of young guys, and then fire Daniel Levy, get new heads of the boards or whatever, director of football operations. Yeah, just go from there.
Yeah, so I mean, we're talking on the fact of I'm assuming Son, you'd want him and Kane both out. You wouldn't want to keep the other, because you want to kind of go on a new era. Talking about the people that have in their roster, do you think Richarlison has a chance still? After what the kind of poor season he had, would you want to put him at the forefront and say you're the new 9 for this team, or would you want to look elsewhere?
I would, because Kane's not there anymore, and because when Kane and Richarlison were playing, Richarlison was playing on the right side, and Richarlison is not a right winger. He's a striker. He's a center forward through the middle, but Kane was occupying it, so he was kind of left out to dust. But yeah, you have to roll with Richarlison. I mean, we've been saying it, but like, if you want a decent striker, you have to pay 70 million, 80 million. And I don't think Tottenham wants to do that when they have, a young-ish striker who, when he was playing up top, like striker for Brazil, he's scoring bangers in the World Cup. So I think if he plays up through the central, he's their main focus in the attack. I think he plays up to it. He builds up, himself up, and I think he's better, by doing that. So, yeah.
Do you think they have any chance if they go out and sell, Kane and Son in the coming, weeks? Do you think that there's a chance that they go out and bring back Kulusevski? They throw Juventus a bag, or do you think Juventus is going to bring him back?
Man, it depends on the price. Because, in his first season, Kulusevski, he was very, very good. Very, very good. Piecing up the whole prem, whatever. Getting assists to Kane's Son. But this season, I don't know, his form just wasn't there. He looked like a totally different player. Like, he wasn't taking guys on. He was being reluctant and, just kind of, he didn't have that like fighter mentality, he was passive is what he was. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to. If it was up to me, and if I'm Tottenham right now, if I get a bag from Kane and Son and other people on the roster, yeah, I'm bringing him back. I'm bringing him back. Yeah.
And I'm assuming there's no doubt Lloris is gone. I mean, what was the game where like he let in like 5 goals at half? I can't remember. Was it Newcastle? Like when they
yeah. It was Newcastle because after one of their I forget what number of goal it was, but after one of their goals, like all the Newcastle players were like turning around to each other and we're like, what? Like what's going on? But
it was
and then
stuff going.
Bro, Lloris is a horrible goalkeeper, man.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, he's beyond his days. I mean, he was great in his prime, but like not a shell of himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on, talking about teams that did not finish well not in the top 5 this season. What is a team outside, the Finnish Premier League standings? So, you got the Manchester Cities, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, etc. What is it team outside the top 5 you think has the best chance to finish inside the top 5 next season?
I would say Aston Villa.
Okay,
they're 7th. They got 7th this year, and what Unai Emery has done with that team is like, look. Honestly, he was my manager of the season for what he did with that Aston Villa team. Like, if you look at it on paper, it's not a great team. They're mid lower table at best.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did with that team was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get a few more signings in, maybe one more attacker, maybe another midfielder, like a backup midfielder, because their midfield's pretty stacked right now with Kamara and Douglas Luiz. I really love Douglas Luiz, man. He's a great midfielder. But maybe shore up that back line a little. Mings, get out of here, man. Get out of here. You're toast. But they had their one marquee signing from last season was Diego Carlos, and he tore his ACL or something like in the first 5 minutes of his first game. So we haven't even seen what he's going to do to that back line. But if they do get a couple more signings, man, be on the lookout because they're a scary team, scary team.
And they're playing some European football now, so they'll get more of an influx. Yeah, that was the team I had as well. I mean, love the progression we saw from Watkins this season. I believe it was when I had written down, 21 goals, assists. And playing in Europe, you're going to get more money, so you can't complain about that. I think, when it comes down to it, you give Unai Emery some more time with this Aston Villa roster, and there's place to go. What is a team then will slip it in that top 5 that you think will drop out then?
Oof, that's tough. I think it's tough because I think Arsenal right now is the weakest. It's crazy to say, but they're like the weakest in the top 5. I think you saw what happened with the squad. Like they just crumbled. Now that was due to, I'd say, poor management of the team in terms of they. Not Pep. Oh my God. Why can't I think of his name?
What's it called?
Mikel Arteta. Sorry. I had a brain fart right there. But Mikel Arteta, he didn't rotate the squad that much. And you saw these guys, later in the season start picking up injuries, picking up knocks, lingering stuff from the whole season that he's just hasn't done anything with. And you saw they crumbled. They literally crumbled under the pressure. And I don't think their squad is deep enough to as looking at some of the other teams. Now, Newcastle, not deep enough, but they can bring in so many signings. Yes, and a great manager and a team that is so exciting to watch. But Arsenal, they're at risk of falling out of the top 5, I'd say, because they're just not deep enough. Their starting 11 is great, phenomenal, right? After that, it's tough. It's tough, man. So if they can bring in, a little bit of backup, a little bit of, rotation in the squad, it doesn't have to be $100 million player, whatever. They just need a couple $20 million players to just have, rotation in the squad that you can trust, because that's one thing. Mikel Arteta didn't trust the people on the bench, didn't trust the young guys. And that's why you see all these guys getting hurt. So, yeah.
So, I mean, we know Shaka's leaving. Like, is there, would you say then the midfield is a position of need then in that situation? I mean, obviously, Odegaard was fantastic this season. I'm likely going to finish in that short list for Ballon d'Or just for the season he had, not win it. But would you say that's the position that they need the most to address?
Yeah, it's tough because they brought in last season. They brought in Fabio Vieira, who is a midfielder. He's a left-footed midfielder, but he plays the same way as Odegaard. Like he's a flashy, won't body anyone, but he'll play around you. And so having two of those, kind of smaller midfielders in the way that Mikel Arteta plays is not going to work out. So you need a bigger, stronger, box-to-box midfielder for that to work, for the squad to work and the way Mikel Arteta wants to play. So I think, they've had talks with, Declan Rice, and maybe that would be something I'd like to see it, but or McAllister, we'll see. But,
yeah, I mean, because I feel like McAllister, there's a lot of talking of him going to Liverpool. Do you think Gabriel Jesus is the guy there? I mean, I know he's injured this season, but do you think he's the guy, a 9 that can lead him to a Prem title?
Man, it's so tough because he's injured so much. Like even when he was at City, he was constantly injured, and they're like, just wait till he's, just wait till he's healthy. Just wait till he's healthy. He's gonna be world class. And when he was healthy this season, he wasn't. I hate to say it, but he wasn't good enough, man.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't good enough, and he wasn't good enough at City to where they had to move him to the right wing. And that's where he played most of the time when he was at City. So, and he's also come out in interviews saying, yeah, I like playing winger more than I do playing through the middle, like through the striker. So, it's tough because, they have Balogun, tearing it up in the league. But at the same time, I don't know if he wants to go back to Arsenal. Maybe he wants, a transfer out of Arsenal, just move on with that phase of his life and start a new one. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd say Gabriel Jesus is not the one if it was up to me. So, yeah.
So in other words, that's your pick to potentially drop out that top 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
long story short. Yeah.
Speaking of teams that would never be in the top 5, we'll talk about Chelsea. That was kind of the main focus of our last podcast we did together. And, now going into the offseason, Christopher Nkunku, from Leipzig, he's going to be coming over. We talked about the João Felix, talks, should they bring him back? Can't really talk about goals and assists because no one really did anything on Chelsea this season. So you can't even bring up numbers, the revolving door at manager and so forth. So let's start off first. What should, on that short list of things that Chelsea needs to do this offseason, what is at the top of that list?
A, get a new manager. Oh, wait, they have Pochettino. Never mind. Sorry, I totally forgot about Pochettino.
No, it's all good.
What it is just selling all the dead wood at the club. Selling all the dead wood. Guys who are not being used. Guys who have been going out on loan for 6 years, whatever. Get them out of the club, man. Why are they still on your payroll? Like you're not going to use them. You didn't use them 6 years ago. You're not going to use them now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chelsea has, I forgot, it was like a stat that they have the most amount of players out on loan in the whole, like out of any club in the whole world.
Ooh.
So it's like, what? Just get all the dead wood out. Once you get that, and you have your main squad, you're like, okay, this is the squad we're gonna stick with. I feel, they're gonna play better because with Chelsea, there's so much uncertainty around, who's going to be in the team, who's going to be in the team, who's going to be reserve, who's not playing, who is playing. But if you just have a squad of like 18 just solid guys and not 30 whatever, you're gonna like those guys are gonna play better because they're playing more, and they're like, okay, well, I'm like the guy in the team now. Like the manager is trusting me to go out there, so I'm going to play better for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just Chelsea's in a state of disarray right now. And I love it.
Yeah. How about I throw some names at you?
Go ahead.
So, Raheem Sterling, legendary Premier League winger.
So.
Christian Pulisic, the captain.
So. Get him out.
We'll keep or we'll sign or let him go back, João Felix.
Only because Nkunku is coming in, let him go. I'm sorry, I have to go on a rant with Chelsea.
Go ahead.
I don't know if we talked about it in the last episode, but Chelsea loves these hybrid, I call them like 9.5s, to where they're not the attacking mid, stereotypical 10 part, like 10 position.
Yeah.
They're also not the stereotypical 9 position. Like they're somewhere in between there. They're 9.5s. They're 9.5s. So Chelsea loves them, right? You got Havertz, you got Nkunku. They signed, or they brought in on loan João Felix. Like they love these guys, and I don't understand it. So it just doesn't work for them.
It's that build. So all right, we'll keep going. N'Golo Kante.
So.
Okay. Mendy and Kepa.
I think Mendy wants to leave. He's been saying he wants to go back to Ligue 1 or just start a new thing. So I'd say sell Mendy, keep Kepa.
All right. Koulibaly.
Keep.
Thiago Silva.
Keep.
All right. Cucurella and Ben Chilwell.
Keep Chilwell, sell Cucurella.
All right. Don't know. Then Mason Mount and Kai Havertz.
Mason Mount, please come to Man United.
I was going to mention.
Please.
I heard it.
Oh, dude, I love Mason Mount, man. Like, he's one of my favorite players from like one of like other teams.
Yeah.
He's just he's so silky on the ball, man. I love him. So please come to Man U.
And then Havertz. The like Wonder Boy of Chelsea.
I know.
Champions League.
I say they keep him. They keep him just for rotation, and he can give you good minutes, even though he can't really score.
Gallagher.
Sell him. Oh, he's horrible. He's horrible. I don't know why he keeps getting picked in squads.
And Kovacic.
Oh, keep him. He's honestly one of the best midfielders in the Prem. He's insane. Keep him.
And then Mikhail Mudryk. I don't think you can sell him, but like loan him or let him stay in the squad.
No, let him stay in the squad. He'll come good. He just needs. It's one of those things where he just needs to see one go in the back of the net, and then they'll start falling. They'll start going. But he just needs a little bit more confidence. That's it.
Yeah,
he's a great player. Like he gets in really good positions. He has all the physical traits and whatnot, but he just needs to see him fall in the back of the net or just get some assists or whatever.
Yeah. So recently, going back to Real Madrid, a Chelsea legend was let go of his contract. Would you explore any idea of bringing Hazard back, to be a veteran in that locker room?
To Chelsea?
Mm-hmm.
No. No way. Nobody wants to touch him. He's not really like a cancer to the squad, but he's also like, he won't bring anything because he's not he doesn't have the personality of like, yeah, I'm gonna teach these young guys, or I'm gonna help these young guys. I'm gonna help the manager out. He just doesn't have that. He's just laid back, goes about his own business and whatnot. So
yeah.
No,
And then
don't.
what's your dream sign? Obviously, we know Nkuku's coming. Who's your dream signing? I mean, obviously, you don't want Chelsea to get anyone, but like, if you're a Chelsea fan, like, who's your dream signing that you'd want this offseason?
Man, I don't know. Who would it be? Do you have any ideas?
I mean, I feel like a goalkeeper would definitely be something
Yeah.
I want to go after. I mean, Costa, from
Mhm.
Porto, I feel like that's a guy, right? I think he played with Porto still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Portuguese guy.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the names here, and I feel like Tyler Adams would be a great signing for them
Ooh,
because what it does is it moves Fernandez up to the 8 to where where he excels in, because at Chelsea he's playing deeper, he's playing in the 6.
yeah.
He's not a 6, man. Push him up to the 8, box to box, let him get forward, attack, defend also. Have Tyler Adams sit back in front of that, in front of the center backs winning balls and whatnot. I feel like that'd be a really good signing.
All right, well then we'll end it off with this. If the current state of the squad, before they sell anyone, move it. What's your prediction? Where do you think they finish in the Prem next season?
I feel like they finish 8th.
Okay.
8th.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good thing for them. Yeah.
There's definitely some teams that are going to see some aggression, but yeah, I think there's not much worse they can get than right now.
Yeah.
Unless they decided to say, screw our new manager hiring, we want Lampard back. So
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move in. So we already talked about Arsenal. That was already on our list. So how far would you go as to guarantee that you think City could win this Champions League final next week? Do you think it's a guarantee that they win the treble, or do you think Inter really can shock the world?
Dude, honestly, I think Inter are favorites. Now, this is a crazy statement because, City are arguably the best team in the world. But
Yeah.
Inter is a different monster right now. Like, I love the way they play. They play almost like well, technically, like when they're defending, it's like a 5-back. So
Yeah.
it's like 5-3-2, or it's like a 3-5-2. It's either way. Like, but what I love about Inter is their ability or their want to, like, they let teams play at the back, and once it goes to like the left back or the right back,
Yeah.
boom, the press is on. And what I love about their press is that it is man to man, like you're winning your battle against your man. Like, it's not a zone kind of press. It's a, man, we're getting into these guys. We're making them feel us. They're a physical team, and yeah, we're gonna press you until we win the ball, and then we're gonna counter. And I love it. I love their team. Like, I feel like honestly they're gonna shock the world and beat City. Now, this could bite me in the butt and have City win like 4-0. But
are you talking about Mr. Champion, Mr. Finals, title race himself, Gundogan? He's not going to go off? Because I know you don't want to remember what happened in the FA Cup final. So,
but I honestly feel like Inter are, I don't see a lot of people giving them props, but man, they are fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some talented people out there and some old guys doing some work. Dzeko, shout out. He's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, shout out Romelu Lukaku. He got his girl making the stallion out there. Shout out. Don't know how that came about. But
shout out to him, man.
Amen. So, going over to the Serie A real quick, one thing I want to touch on, two of the most impressive players in there in the league this year were, Cavaradona and, Osimhen. Do you believe both are easily going to return back next season for Napoli?
Osimhen, no. And I think Cavaradona, I think he stays. Yeah. But if I'm the Napoli like head of football operations right now, I'm selling them both. Okay. Only because I think they work. If you keep one, it won't work as well. Like if you sell both,
the values will drop. Yeah,
the values will drop, and like if you sell, because both of them were like their main like players, like the they were their main people.
Yeah.
And so if you sell one of them, the other one or the whole team will have to play differently, and it won't work. It won't work. So yeah, I think Cardona, he stays only because I think teams are a little bit hesitant
Mhm.
to buy him because there's that saying. I hate you always have to look at one season wonders
Yeah.
to where like why were they so good
Mhm.
in this season when they weren't in other seasons. I mean, he just came to Napoli,
Yeah.
so I didn't really look at when he was in Georgia, playing in Georgia.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like these one season wonders. I don't know, I feel like his value will drop next season. So if I'm the head of Napoli, I'm selling them both and getting a bag for both of them.
You probably get 200 million at least,
Oh,
both combined.
easy,
Yeah.
easy, yeah.
You have dream destinations for both. Let's say they both leave this offseason. Or just one
Uh,
you can think of.
Osimhen to, I don't know if Man United want him as much. I'm looking at teams right now. I don't know, man. Maybe Osimhen to like PSG. I know that's not. I don't know. With
Nah.
Neymar leaving, you could push Mbappe to the left, Osimhen through the middle. I feel like that'd be pretty good.
Nice. You got to do something to keep him there. So
Yeah, yeah. Kvara, I don't know where he goes, man.
mm.
That's tough. Maybe I don't know if Newcastle want him, but
Ooh.
I feel like him at Newcastle would go crazy
Because a lot
with.
of the top Prem teams have very good wingers. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah. And I'm looking at the top five right now, and all of them have like solid set left wingers,
Mhm.
except for Newcastle. They have Saint Maximin, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not good,
Gucci
man.
boy or whatever he is. Yeah.
He's not. He's not good. Gucci, yeah, Gucci man. And then you got Newcastle throughout the season. They had to move Isak to the left because they
Yeah.
just didn't have anyone in that position, and they put Wilson through the
Yeah.
middle. So I think he would go crazy at Newcastle. Now I don't know if he's within their spending budget or if they want to put their funds
Oh,
elsewhere, but I know. But I
exactly.
feel like that'd be a really, really good
Mm.
team. Plus Newcastle's in the Champions League this
Yeah.
season, so
Well, perfect transition because we want to talk about some top summer targets. I saw someone talk about this guy potentially going to Newcastle and forming an insane midfield. What do you think about? I don't want to butcher his name, Manuel Ugarte from Sporting CP,
yeah.
one of the best midfielders that's potentially on the market this summer.
hmm Yeah, I also saw that he's heavily linked with Chelsea, and I
Oh,
don't know if he is like if he already like
yeah.
agreed like if he verbally agreed to deal with Chelsea, but bro, I have to talk. Sorry,
No.
Chelsea's poll like is insane, bro. So PSG also offered Ugarte, bro. They offered him like 2 or 3 times the amount of money he was getting at that he was gonna get out Chelsea, and Barcelona also offered him, and he still is like, no, I'd rather go to Chelsea. Their pool is insane for a team that's 12th.
Uh-huh.
Like,
They
I
just
don't
have so much like rich history though. Like that's
yeah,
the thing.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like he either chooses Chelsea or who was it, Newcastle?
Yeah.
Him at Newcastle would be really
Yeah.
good.
With Bruno over there. Oh,
hmm
that'd be good. All right, Giancarlo Ramos. I know the Benfica striker. There's been some talks and potential links maybe to Man United. Is that a position you see him going, or do you think another team could be in the bidding for him?
Yeah, man. I don't know about Man U. I don't know where they want to go with like their striker. I don't know if they want to go Osimhen, uh, Ramos, or someone else, maybe like Tammy Abraham or something. I don't know what they want to do. I don't know what type of striker they want either. I don't know if they want, get him behind kind of penalty box like Hawk, whatever, or if they want more like a Kane who plays in between the lines or whatever. So I don't know, but Ramos, ooh, I was just thinking he'd be really good at Real Madrid. I don't know. I just have this vision of like him being in a Real Madrid jersey.
Another
And
Portuguese
it
guy.
just fits, man. It just fits for some reason in my head. But yeah, man, I don't know because a lot of top teams don't need a striker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they only have Man United, maybe Arsenal, for the Prem, and then I'm thinking who else? Barca doesn't need one. Madrid needs one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like a lot of top teams don't need a striker, so maybe their value does come down.
I mean, do you think
Madrid.
Bayern's fine with what they have? I mean, I know Sadio Mane is leaving. Choupo-Moting. Like, you think I know you're fond of him, but do you think that? I mean, there's definitely some room for upgrade.
Yeah. Thing about Bayern is I think they might go with somebody in the Bundesliga already, just because there's that that whole club's in disarray right now because after winning the league, they fired their
Like too cool.
Yeah, they fired people like on the field as they're celebrating. So I don't know I literally have no idea what they want to do. Like their squad is crazy.
I'm assuming you've heard about it. A guy that might potentially want out there. One of the best players in the league in Kimmich.
Man, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Did you hear the City thing? It was like, keep Cancelo and give us Kimmich.
That's crazy. No, I didn't hear that. That's funny.
That was terrible.
That's funny.
That would be death for everyone. Oh my goodness. Please no. But yeah, so we'll move on. I think McAllister at this point, it seems like it's a done deal going to Liverpool. It just hasn't been announced. I'm assuming we're clear on that. Tyler Adams, I know you just mentioned Chelsea. It seems like ever since that, U.S. men's national team run that he's been gaining some sort of traction, as a really good, ball-playing midfielder. And any other teams besides Chelsea that you think could be an attractive location for him? Potentially, maybe go to Manchester United. Now you're losing some midfield talent.
Yeah, Manchester United. We were linked with him early in the season. Obviously he just moved to Leeds, but we were linked with him early, saying, I think it was Ten Hag saying he really admires Tyler Adams, and I'd love him in our midfield, man. Him and Casemiro, that'd be a deadly duo. I don't know how much attacking sense that would be, but we'd be solid. We'd be very solid defensively.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, there's going to be a fire sale on the relegated teams and their young talent, like an absolute fire sale. So get these guys if you need it for depth. Honestly, they'd be great for any of the teams. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd love just like a James Ward-Prowse going to a situation where he can just be like, get the shine for the monster set pieces he is known for. How about, the guy, I feel like he's been in Real Madrid his entire career and never does anything, Marco Asensio. I mean, it seems like I heard PSG was a place to go. I mean, he's not really much more than like a depth, a depth piece to many great teams or, a starter, so on and so forth. Is there anything that you think for him or?
I mean, he's a great backup piece, man. I mean, he has an absolute rocket of a left foot. Like this dude can strike a ball like nobody else, and he's good. He just can't. He's not great in other aspects. Like he's weird because in that Madrid team, he's not technical enough to play center mid. He's more of an attacking mid, but he's also not quick enough or fast enough to play winger. So he's kind of in that in between. I mean, you saw the same thing with like Isco when he was there. To where so I think he's just in a bad situation right now at Real Madrid. But if he goes to a team to where he could play his natural position of like attacking mid, I feel like he'd be better there. So
yeah. How about Jeremy Frimpong, from Bayer Leverkusen, a very talented, fullback, wingback. Do you think he's on a way out this summer potentially? And what teams could be looking for a guy with his skill set?
Yeah, it depends because actually, let me look at the Bundesliga table. Where did they? Where did
They finished in Champions League
Fire? Did they?
with
Oh
what's his name? Was it
no,
Legend?
they're in Conference League. If
Who's
it's so,
their man? Xabi Alonso. Yeah.
yeah, Xabi Alonso. Yeah, they're in Conference League. Ooh, that's tough. Yeah, I feel like he'd want to move out just to further his career.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ooh, someone put Manchester United in that talk, but I don't know what you think
did
about
they?
it. It says
I
that
think
on
we're.
market, but
I think we already have solid right backs in
yeah.
Wan-Bissaka and Delo.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like looking at the Bundesliga, I feel like Dortmund would be a really good spot for him. You know, they're losing Paslak, who's a good backup, right
Yeah.
right back, but you know they have Mounier, and for me he's not good. He's not good at all. So getting right back, who could also play right midfield, Jeremy Frimpong up and down that right side, he'd be great in that Dortmund team. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. A team that
Mhm.
I was so devastated when they lost, but like at least like it was cool to see like Musiala like hit that eventual game winner, like that was
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
you know the Bayern will forever run that until someone with oil money comes and
I'm
throws
very
off
sad for Dortmund.
the entire Bundesliga, like
Mhm.
build of the fan stuff and just run
Yeah,
some money.
yeah.
Who knows what happens? Probably the premier midfield guy out there, Declan Rice of West Ham United. A lot of teams are going to be fine for this guy. A starter from the English national team. He's been great out there, but there's no way he's staying at West Ham this summer. Um, where's your ideal location for him?
Yeah, I think we already said Arsenal. I don't know if that would be his ideal location.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we already talked about it earlier, but Newcastle would be a great fit for him. Sitting deeper in a more six role, and then having Bruno Guimaraes, pushing forward, getting, we saw him. He gets a lot of goals and assists, Bruno Guimaraes, from that deeper midfield position. So I feel like that would be a great fit for that whole team in Newcastle.
Yeah, they just need to get a midfielder. I feel like adding that would
Mm-hmm.
just make them so much more deadly. And
Mm-hmm.
then James Madison of Leicester City. I mean, another team that went down, and there's gonna be a lot of people vying for him as well.
Yeah. He's in that weird position where he's not he's not young enough to be considered, like a young talent,
Yeah.
but he's also not old enough to where he's like, nobody wants to buy him. Like he's in a weird gray position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he's a great player. It's just I don't know if teams want to, because he's like Asensio, where he's not a winger, but he's also he's a attacking mid, and Leicester City didn't use him as attacking mid. They used him as a right winger mostly, and he would
Yeah.
just come into the midfield and play off of that. So I'm looking at the teams, man. I feel like Aston Villa would be a great fit for him,
Ooh.
because with their attack, it's free flowing, so guys are moving wherever they want, and I feel like he would just pick up pockets of space in
Mm-hmm.
that, and he would be deadly. Him and Watkins would be a great fit.
That's what they
I feel
need. They
like.
need some, a creator out there just to add
Mm-hmm.
more of that depth. Would be excellent. And we're gonna end this podcast off. The man himself, Lionel Messi. Where do you think he is going this summer?
Man, I don't know, because Barca, even the whole team, the president, everyone wants him back at Barca.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he wants to go back to Barca. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a better sense on this because you're a Barca fan?
Yeah, I don't. I like what we have up top in front of wingers. When Rafinha's healthy, Dembele, the group. I don't know. Then you put him alongside Lewandowski, so then you kind of like trump Lewandowski as the veteran on the team. Like I don't know. It's an interesting situation, you know. Like I heard someone saying that Inter Miami's going to buy him and then loan him to Barcelona because Barcelona can't pay. I don't know. I feel like it's unfortunate, but I feel like you kind of like almost like let the Messi ship sail at this point. You know,
Yeah.
you want to build off what you did this season. You know, it was very disappointing how you lost in the Europa League. You know, it is what it is between the two of us. But
Yeah.
you know, want to keep building up that midfield. You know, you got other problems to worry about on the roster. You know, like you got to figure out, you know, do we have a contingency plan for Lewandowski because he is not getting any younger? No. Do we have what's our midfield situation look like? Obviously, you know, Pedri the young. You know, I know there's been some complications with Gavi, but you still got Kessie. Do you think Kessie's going to really be that Sergio Busquets replacement? Do you look elsewhere? And then in the defense, it's a lot of health situations. You know, Christensen has been healthy. You know, then you move Koundé out the right back. You know, can we get a fullback, out there? I believe Balde is hurt now too, which is another blow to the team. So there's a lot of issues in hand. I mean, if we somehow pull off some, BS, like, oh, you get the loan thing with, Miami, that would be interesting. But at the same time, like, let Xavi build a roster that's going to be there. Not a guy that's, 36. But, like, I hate saying this because at the end of the day, like, he's the reason why I got into watching, like, soccer, like that's why I'm a Barca fan to this day. I wasn't going to jump ship with him, but like it's hard. I mean, and then I would just please don't go to Saudi Arabia though. That's the only thing I can ask. It's like I would need to be him and Ronaldo's both getting bashed about it, putting the same. We don't need to see that, but
yeah, I'm in the same position as you to where I hate when players they leave a club, like they leave the club where they had their best season and then they go back to the club. It's never going to work out the way you think it is. They're not going to return to that form. They're not the same player they are. Like it never worked. I hate to say this, but the only player that has ever gone back to the same team and has exceeded expectations, it's not even in soccer, but it's LeBron.
Like, I was just going to say
leaving Cleveland and then coming back to Cleveland, I was like, oh man, that's not going to work out. And he exceeded expectations. Like it in soccer, it never. He's the one like off. Like that's it. Like he's the one. What do you call it?
The one like anomaly. Like
anomaly. Yeah. It never works out the way you think it is. Yeah. It's not going to end well, and the player's reputation is going to be tarnished now. Just stop living in the past, people. Stop living in the past. There's a future ahead, right?
It would be so weird, like, because you gave Ansu Fati his number and then just be like, we don't believe in you anymore. We're getting your number back.
Yeah, we need it back.
But no, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to look at Barca. It all comes down to injuries. I like what we saw from Xavi. We just need more depth. I feel like in that attacking position, especially when it comes to health, Lewandowski, like we need someone that can play striker or center forward other than Lewandowski at this point, like whatever it may be, even if it's like getting a Bobby Firmino, which I don't even know if he would really fit in the team, but like, getting, Barca was built, our success with Suarez and so on and so forth was because we had a true 9 at top, and that's what we need to rock with. We've had so many great 9s in the past. Lewandowski's good, but he turns 35 in August, so. But hey, at least we had the best goalkeeper in the world, though. That's all I gotta say. So
that is, he was going crazy this year.
Yeah,
how many goals? He only conceded like 14 goals or something like that.
Something crazy. Yeah, no, he was tied for the record last time I checked. But no, hair transplant, Brandon. Girls get boob jobs. Mark Taking gets a hair job, and now he goated. So
he's a new man. Yeah.
Any other thing you want to mention, maybe about Man U or anything else before we head out here today?
To all the people saying Ten Hag, like, they're not even saying like Ten Hag out, but they're saying he didn't have a successful season. Like I follow these Man U like fan pages, and they're like, rate Ten Hag season out of 10. And I was going through the comments, dude. People were like, a 3, a 4, a 5 out of
You know
10.
how bad you guys were to start the season? I thought you guys
Bro,
were
that's
really
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And after our blunder of a season last year, I thought, hey, maybe this season we can actually, I didn't have any expectations for us. Eddie exceeded our expectations. He got third, man. He got third. And we won a trophy and we lost in a final. Like, that is a successful season. I don't care how you say it. That is that is a successful season. And all the people that are like, he doesn't play pretty football. It's not attractive to watch. Who cares? Who cares, man?
Games doesn't matter, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be.
And still, I love the stuff I see on TikTok where it's like the Man U fans and the Man City fans, and they're like, nobody from Man City gets in our starting 11, and then vice versa. It's so funny.
Those I hate those videos, man. Those videos.
Like, I saw I don't know what his name is, like one of those big Man U guys. He's like, yeah, I'm taking Ten Hag over Pep. I'm like, okay, like
that's
Ten Hag's great, but like, you can't deny what Pep Guardiola has done. Like, they're about to say, well, we'll put Haaland in because he's better than Weghorst. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, reluctantly we'll put him in. Yeah.
But they're like every single like defender, like they put they put in Lisandro Martinez and Varane and just said no to Diaz.
No, that's insane. That is insane.
And like vice versa, they'll say like, oh, like I'm keeping Nathan Aki over Luke Shaw. Like it's just
yeah.
Those are my favorite videos. Are like would you rather have? It's like it would be like Aston Villa. They're like, would you want anyone from Man City? Like, no. Hey, that's a real fandom, though.
That's a real fan. That's a real fan.
I mean, I love some people from Real Madrid. I ain't gonna lie, but
yeah,
it is what it is. All right, well, I appreciate Chase hopping on. This has been a great podcast. We will be back once we get some more news flowing in. We'll evaluate some transfers and so on and so forth. But as always, Coast Coast Podcast signing out. Peace.